Hello there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm Ryan in Singapore. Welcome to our mindfulness practice. Today's topic is about how can I be more welcomed to come to my meditation practice. So what the series we've been working on is kind of like, well, maybe I've been away from my meditation practice for a while, or maybe I'm finding the practice itself to be really challenging. Like coming to my cushion, I have some expectation of peace, and that's not happening. Maybe I'm finding that this practice is challenging, and it isn't meeting the expectations that I have for it. And and I think part of as we continue with our practice is to try to let go of those expectations. That there are certainly times that mindfulness meditation in particular is not supposed to be. I started to say supposed to be. It's not supposed to be used as a relaxation technique, right? The primary purpose of this is not to relax. It is, in fact, to train the mind. And mindfulness meditation is used as that, as a kind of gym for the mind, to incline the mind to be less addicted to thinking. You may or may not recognize your own addiction to thinking. It's something that is extremely easy to fall into these days with the constant fight that technology has for our attention. We may discover that we always want to be entertained, and that our coming and practicing doing nothing is something that is really challenging. And sometimes we find that we'd much rather do something that's engaging or entertaining and isn't as passive as meditating. So when that happens, what can I do to be more inclined to do my practice? Because, just like brushing your teeth, meditating every day for a little bit of time is more effective than meditating once a week for a long period of time, right? I mean, it's better to brush your teeth for 5 minutes a day every day than it is for you to brush your teeth for 30 minutes on Sunday. So that's really one of the goals of doing this practice, is to make it daily so that it does become this kind of mental habit of training the mind in that space of nothingness, in less engagement, in observing what's going on. And that's really one of the key benefits of regularly doing mindfulness meditation, is this training of self-awareness and the strengthening of self-awareness that happens. And we start to see the underlying motivations that we have to do something, especially as you react to something challenging that's going on, right? A lot of times when we snap out of anger or frustration and impatience, it's the thing that's coming out of our mouth, or the action that we're doing is not from a place of self-awareness. So you might notice that you're doing things that do have some kind of self-soothing effect, but end up in the long term being harmful to yourself and to those around you. So what can I do to make my meditation practice, which I know is beneficial for me? What can I do to make it more inviting to me? So this topic today is mostly around, and I'm looking around me, like what are the physical items that remind me, right, that I can't walk through a room in my house without remembering, right? Maybe that's the first step, is to remember that, hey, this is something I should do every day. Is there some kind of physical reminder that I can place in my environment to remind me to meditate? And that can be really helpful. And so in my house, There are three different rooms in my house that have meditation cushions in them. So my bedroom, this room, which is kind of like my study room where I do all of my live broadcasts and record my tracks and things. And then in my living room, I have a table with some meditation cushions around it for people to sit on. And, I'm moving off my cushion just so I can show you the cushion that I have. So this is the cushion that's on the bottom. So it's circular. It helps to raise my hips so that my hips are higher than my knees, and I think that really helps. That makes it more inviting, and that my meditation isn't uncomfortable. I think that's something that can cause challenge, right? Is if you look at your cushion and every time you think about the physical pain that it may be causing you. And just to be clear as well, uh, mindfulness practice is about leaning into the unpleasant. So, the analogy I've used in the last few weeks is training wheels. As we slowly start to take those training wheels off again, or maybe for the first time, leaning into the unpleasant, and that can be physical discomfort as well. So on the bottom, so I have two pieces to my cushion, right? On the bottom here is the zabuton, right? It's the bottom piece. So each of the cushions in my house have both of these pieces, and that's really to help it be as comfortable as possible. So it's not only comfortable for my lower back as I'm sitting up higher, but as my knees are coming down, they're not on the hard floor. That my knees are comforted by this cushion, and everything's softened. So that really, to me, is the very first and most important physical item. This reminder that my meditation is going to be as comfortable and accessible as possible. And just as a reminder, you can meditate anywhere. You can meditate on the bus. You can meditate at it's your child's track meet when they're not running. It can be your time to meditate. There's all kinds of different times that you can do it, but like that thing that helps to remind us can be really useful. And speaking of reminders, that's what that's the main purpose. We did a little exercise a few days ago using these for counting. So like they're taking it off, and while I'm meditating, I'm focusing on the feeling of these beads in my hand. Okay, that's a practice that I do occasionally, but the main reason to have these is to have a physical reminder on me all the time to be mindful. And that's not just to meditate, that's also to help me to remember to bring my practice into daily life, to be mindful in the things that I'm doing throughout my day. Because it's really easy to be on autopilot. And this is kind of that reminder when I feel these on my arm, to remind myself, hey, you can be mindful right now. You can focus on the breath when things are getting hard, like that feeling, like as I'm moving, like that sensation is always, this physical sensation of these beads is always there. And that is a constant reminder for me to be mindful in the moment. So these are maybe the two most important things that help keep me present. And some of the other things, that you can use is I've got just brought a few things. So here's some incense, some sandalwood scented incense. Here's like another. Sandalwood's kind of a traditional scent for meditation. It's just a couple different types of incense that I leave next to an incense burner in my living room. There, let's see, of course, this bowl, which if you've come to my live events before, you're probably familiar with. So this bowl is the one that I use to end meditations. When I see it, it's another reminder. And the sound, right? Like that sound, maybe for you as well. If you come to these live events often, the sound, it's the sound that I use to end meditation, and it's kind of like that Pavlovian response of you hear that, and it reminds you, it gives you that feeling of having accomplished your meditation. I mean, that can be really powerful. Here's one that you probably haven't, that I know you haven't seen in a long time. It's the tingsha that I used to use to close meditation. That due to the way things sound on Insight Timer, and to you who are wearing headphones, this it's a bit too high pitched. Can be a little bit unpleasant. So I've used the other bowl. And what else? I've got just a few more. One more thing. This is my. This is the blanket that I use. It's if I'm cold. I suppose I haven't used it much here in Singapore. It was mostly for the winters in Hong Kong. It's pretty hot all the time. So to make it so that my meditation is pleasant. I mean, that's really kind of the key theme I'm driving to here, is what can I do to make sure that I come in practice. It shouldn't be something that I hate doing. Every time I think about it, it's just like, oh man, I got to do my meditation again today. Like, I wish I could do something else. I just don't want to do it. It's just that, and it certainly can feel like that. For me, definitely. I have times where I find my mind making up any excuse possible to not do my daily meditation because it's hard. I don't, I find excuses not to go to the gym, not to do yoga, not to eat well, not to do all the things that are good, that I know are good for me. For whatever reason, my body and mind don't want to do them. So what can I do to remind myself to do them and to make it more inviting to do them? Cece says, not very spiritual, but I have phone alarms set to remind me when our group or recorded meditation is. Thanks, Cece, for sharing that. And, what makes that less spiritual than anything else anyway? Let's go ahead and get into our meditation today. So find a comfortable position that will support you in your meditation. Oh, you know what? And I forgot one very important thing that can make meditation welcoming is having some recording, some guided practice, some meditation teacher that you resonate with, whose voice can guide you. I do encourage, as our practice gets deeper, to try to take those training wheels off, because there really is some big benefit to practicing not by yourself, but with yourself in silence, right? To really do your best to stay focused, because there's a lot of power in bringing yourself back, bringing your attention back to the present moment yourself, without a recording or without a meditation teacher telling you to bring your attention back. I was just having a discussion with another meditation teacher about that yesterday, and it's just really hitting home for me how important that is in the development of our practice. Okay, so get yourself comfortable. Would encourage you to bring your back away from the backrest if you're sitting on a chair. Sitting up straight and tall. But with ease, though, right? Not tensing the back muscles. It's one of the reasons to use a cushion, so that your hips can be elevated slightly and you can sit without engaging too much muscle in your lower back. It's the kind of feeling is similar to standing. When you're standing, you're not really strongly engaging the muscles in your back. So it should feel kind of similar to that. Maybe if you like, you can put one of your hands in the lumbar spine, feeling, just making sure that there's a little curve there. We're not hunching forward, as this can really cause a bit of pain in those muscles and make it harder to sustain our practice. Crown of the head towards the ceiling. Shoulders relaxed. Maybe take a moment to roll the shoulders a few times if you like. Hands just wherever is comfortable for you. Could be folded in the lap, could be on your knees. Just noticing where you've chosen to place your hands today. And just take a moment to check into the body. What is the body feeling like? What is the posture that you've chosen? Notice the face. Is there tension in the face? Notice the eyebrows, the forehead. Notice the jaw. Is there tension in the jaw? Seeing if you can part the teeth so that the teeth aren't touching, but the lips are staying closed as best you can. So breathing through the nostrils if that's possible for you today. Noticing the shoulders now, the back, the buttocks against the cushion, the chest, the abdomen, rising and falling of the abdomen as you breathe. So just dropping into this stillness. Noticing what it feels like to be breathing. Noticing each breath as it comes in and goes out of the body. Maybe you've chosen to burn a little bit of incense as you started your meditation today. Tuning in to the sense of smell. So choosing whatever anchor is supporting you. Anchor being something that's happening in the present moment that is detectable by one of the five senses. So for me, my primary anchor is my breath, and it tends to be the rising and falling of my belly as I breathe. So choosing that one place or that one sense to tune into, to be your anchor in the present. And holding attention there as best you can. And so our meditation practice can be like a distillation process. We find that as we focus, that background noise seems to get less and less. And our awareness of the thoughts that are lingering in the background starts to dial up. We can hear those subtle thoughts that are sometimes not as available to us. And so what's there? What do we find as we explore the unconscious mind? And of course, the only way to get there is to not try to get there. To stay focused, to stay concentrated, and then notice where the mind unconsciously goes in those times that we're not fully concentrated on the breath. So these distractions, even though we're not trying to go there, as the mind goes there, we uncover some information. We learn a little bit about ourselves. We can use that in this quest for self-awareness. So as best you can, keep focusing on that physical sensation of breathing. You never know what you might uncover. Keep it up, everyone. You're doing great. We have about 5 more minutes to go before I close our practice. So just see if you can redouble your effort. Remember that the past doesn't exist. There is only right now. So whatever happened at the beginning of the meditation until now, don't worry about it. Now is the time to begin. Now is the time for you to be focused on the present moment. You can do it. Anchor back into that feeling of breathing. And when your mind wanders, there's no need to follow any thought. When you discover that your mind has wandered, just note what it is that took your attention away from what you're trying to do. And that noting, that awareness itself is the way to pop that soap bubble of thought. And return the mind to the focus on the present, on this physical sensation of breath, or whatever anchor you've chosen today. So well done, everybody. You've made it through the practice. Now we'll slowly begin to transition out of our period of practice into the period of the rest of our lives. And I'll close practice with 3 rings of the bell. All right. Good job. You did it. Thanks, everybody, for practicing with me today. It's been a pleasure having you. Hope that, thanks, Poppy. Hope that it was, hope that it was a positive experience for you. Hope that it was welcoming. I think that's really kind of the key theme of today's meditation is that can it be welcoming, and can it be more accessible to you because of that? And so, that was kind of what I closed on a bit, is that possible for, for you to find a teacher that is helpful for you, that can, maybe you're coming to these live events is a really helpful way. And I'm just going to pop up, if you don't follow me on Insight Timer, would encourage you to do so. I mean, that's super helpful for me in the work that I'm doing here. I'm working on a course about the 9 attitudes of MBSR that I'll be releasing relatively soon. And just look forward to sharing that with you. We'll be doing another session on 5 attitudes, the 9 attitudes when that comes out. Thanks, Yvonne, so much for your donation. And thanks everybody for being here. And this is how, this is I think I've redoubled my effort into Insight Timer since the CEO of Insight Timer announced that he's changing live events. And so you can, I can see now I can post my profile for you to follow, and that's cool. That's like a new addition that wasn't available a while ago. So that's really, I think that's really cool. I really think it's cool what Insight Timer is doing with live events. So soon we'll also be able to collaborate with other teachers. That's going to be really fun. I think we'll have a lot of rich things to share with all of you, the Insight Timer community, as that rolls out more. And Cece says, I'm blessed to have somehow found your meditations around 3 years ago. And thanks, Cece, for the recommendation. I appreciate that a lot. And I feel like I'm lucky to have this community that's found me. So, I mean, maybe today's your first time joining in one of these live events, but I've been doing them on Insight Timer for about 5 years now. And it's been really awesome, and I just love the community that's here. And as I was looking, I've been referring back to the old meditations that I've done maybe 3 years ago to make this course, and it reminded me of what it was like to be coming here live every day. And I guess I want to know from you, what was that like? Was that, do you miss that time when I was here broadcasting every day? I mean, I have to say it is a little bit hard with it is hard to make it every single day, as there are certain members of my family that want me to be able to stay up a bit later at night, and this is really early for me, but it's a great time for me to interact with you because I'm the only person in my household that's awake right now. So that's really good. So if you've been with me for a while, tell me, what was it like to meditate every day here? Do you use the tracks that I have posted But yeah, it's been awesome. I mean, it's been an awesome few years, and really, I mean, my main mission here on Insight Timer is to help encourage you to practice every day, and to have. I mean, that's what this daily, when this was a daily live event, that was the idea, is to make sure to have some consistent, to have a consistent group, to have this consistency. That's the key word, the consistency, because that's how you're going to see the benefit of your practice, is through doing it every single day, not missing a day. And I think Insight Timer is good at that. It kind of reminds you, hey, you've missed a day. Did you meditate yesterday? Do you want to keep your streak up? I've had mixed feelings about the streak in the past, because of the tendency towards striving that it can bring up in people. But I think overall that the idea of having a daily streak is good, because it does act as a motivator. And yet, Cece says, yes, we're meeting every day and listen to your tracks. It helped to come every day when you used to do that. Thanks, Cece, for sharing. And yeah, I mean, if I have the space in my life to do that, and I've considered doing a different time as well. So maybe also, like, not just doing this time, but also a bit later in the day. So I don't know. I'm engaging more in my work here on Insight Timer. And as I'm engaging more, I'm trying to think of what is the most effective way to reach you, the participants, and the community of Insight Timer. So I'm going to be experimenting with that in the next few months. Next time, we're going to be doing a session on insomnia. So mindfulness meditation is paying attention on purpose in the present moment, non-judgmentally, to my experience right now. And sometimes that experience right now can be one where my mind is really racing. And what is insomnia like? Are there these training wheels techniques that we've been working on in the last few weeks that we can use to help ourselves when we wake up in the middle of the night and we can't go back to sleep? So what's that experience like? And is there a way that I can gently encourage myself back into sleep? So that's what we're doing next time. I've just kind of posted up that next event. So sign up for it. It's happening in around 47 hours. So look forward to re-engaging with you then. And I hope to see you then. Have a great day or evening wherever you are going forward. And until next time, I'm just like kind of looking at who's here again. So thanks for joining, Ellie. Thanks, Poppy, for joining. Thank you, Esther, for joining. Thanks, B in Southern California. Thank you, Heather. Thanks, Lily. Thanks, Charlotte. Thank you, Julie, and thanks to everybody else. It's really, really a pleasure to be here. Let's close practice the way that we do, sending out some well wishes to ourselves and to everyone else here and to everybody in the world. So repeat after me if you feel comfortable doing so. May I be happy and peaceful. May everyone watching, listening, wherever you are, may you all be happy and peaceful. And may all human beings and all sentient life, including those who have not yet been born, I wish us all happiness and peace. Thanks again. Take care. Hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye.